FromSoftware's Elden Ring was one of the most talked about games in 2022, earning praise for its massive open world, challenging combat, and unforgettable boss fights. Now, 2 years later, the studio has yet again announced something extra. Elden Ring Nightreign, a standalone co-op spin-off that offers a completely new take on the Soulslike formula, with its fast-paced action, randomized levels, and emphasis on teamwork. Nightreign is shaping up to be a bold departure from its original game. I wanted to go through all the details and break down everything that we know about Elden Ring Nightreign. So, Nightreign isn't just a rehash of Elden Ring. In fact, it's not even a DLC. It reimagines the experience with a focus on speed and cooperation. Instead of slowly exploring an open world, players form a team of 3 and drops into a chaotic randomized version of Limgrave. The landscapes, enemy placements, and loot are shuffled every session, meaning no 2 runs are ever the same. Now the goal is quite simple. Start at level 1, build up your character as quickly as possible by collecting runes and loot, and survive increasingly difficult waves of enemies and bosses. Unlike the methodical pace of the original game, Nightreign is all about moving fast, making quick decisions, and working with your team to conquer challenges. Now, the game structure revolves around 3-day in-game cycle. Each day lasts about 15 minutes give or take, during which players can roam the map, fight enemies, and gather resources. However, there's a twist. A deadly ring of rain gradually shrinks the players as the time passes, forcing players to stay on the move. If you linger too long outside of the ring, the acid-like rain will kill you. And this mechanic kind of keeps things very tense and encourages squads to stay together as they push towards the center of the map. The shrinking ring also ensures that each session is fast-paced, action-packed, adding a layer of strategy to every decision. Man, we're now getting a Battle Royale Souls-like experience from FromSoftware. Wow, that's awesome. Now, at the end of each in-game day, the shrinking ring triggers a major boss fight. These battles are randomized, pulling from a mix of familiar enemies and brand new creations. For an example, returning foes like Draconian Tree Sentinels make an appearance, alongside terrifying new bosses like the Centipede, a creature made of writhing limbs that can detach and attack separately. As the cycle progresses, the bosses become more challenging. Day 3 climaxes in a fight against a massive Cerberus-like beast called Gladius. Each boss requires careful coordination and mastery of teams' abilities to defeat, making every victory feel earned. Now, one of the biggest changes in Nightreign is its simplified character system. Instead of choosing from Elden Ring's long list of ambiguous classes, players pick from 8 distinct heroes, each with their own strengths, weaknesses, and unique abilities. There's a mention of 4. Wielder is a balanced fighter with hook shot ability that can pull in enemies or zip around the battlefield. There's a Guardian as well, a tanky hero with heavy attacks and increased damage resistance, perfectly for soaking up the hits. There's also a Duchess, a fast and agile fighter with quick strikes and the ability to double the damage of the teammates' attacks. And there's also Recluse, a mage specializes in range, attacks, and health siphoning abilities. Now, these heroes are designed to encourage kind of like a teamwork. For an example, Duchess can amplify Guardian's powerful dive bomb attack, while Recluse can mark enemies for health recovery. Finding the right combination of heroes and coordinating their abilities is key to surviving toughest of encounters. Now, to keep the gameplay fresh, Nightreign features procedurally generated maps with randomized layouts, enemies, and environmental hazards. One session might include a forest full of poisonous rot, while another might have active volcanoes or swarms of giant ants to fend off. Now, mid-run events like the meteor strikes or surprise invasions by powerful enemies like Margit the Fell Omen add even more unpredictability. This randomized ensures that no 2 playthroughs feel alike and keep players on their toes. FromSoftware has made several changes to make Nightreign faster and more accessible without losing its challenges. For starters, you can now wall jump to quickly scale terrain, and there's no fall damage, so you're free to leap off cliffs without fear. Leveling up also has been simplified. Instead of carefully allocating points to stats like fate or dexterity, the game uses an auto-leveling system based on your character's strengths. This allows players to focus on the action rather than agonizing over the build decisions. Even death works differently in Nightreign. If you're downed, your teammates can revive you, a unique system that encourages cooperation. Now, however, if all 3 players are defeated at once, the session resets and you must start over from day 1. Now, although Nightreign borrows ideas from games like Destiny and Diablo, it's not live service title. Once you buy the game, you get full experience with no microtransactions or battle passes. This decision should be relief for the players who want a complete self-contained game without extra costs. While Nightreign is primarily designed for 3-player co-op, it can also be played solo. The game adjusts enemy difficulty to make it manageable for lone players, though there's currently no option for 2-player squads, as there's been no mention about that. Now, what sets Nightreign apart is how it combines Souls-like mechanics with fast-paced team-based gameplay. The randomness of the maps, shrinking ring of rain, and emphasis of the coordination gives a kind of unique identity. Now, battles are chaotic, but rewarding, I should say, especially when you pull off a perfectly timed combo with your squad mates. The streamlined system make it easier for newcomers to jump in, while the depth of the strategy and challenges will keep hardcore fans engaged. And for the players who love the deliberate, methodical pace of the Elden Ring, Nightreign offers something completely different. It's faster, more dynamic, and designed to be played with friends. At the same time, it retains the elements that made Elden Ring special: challenging enemies, deep lore, and thrilling boss fights. Now, of course, whether you're a veteran of the original game or perhaps a newcomer looking for a more accessible entry point, Elden Ring Nightreign promises to deliver an exciting action-packed experience. Now, Elden Ring Nightreign is set to launch sometime in 2025. Everything that I've seen and heard so far suggests that FromSoftware is onto something truly unique. The mix of randomness of levels, fast-paced co-op, and streamlined mechanics could make this standout title in its own right. Now, what do you think about the Nightreign? Because I personally was very shocked to hear anything related to Elden Ring will be making an appearance at the Game Awards. On top of that, we did hear FromSoftware mentioning that they're not going to have extra things included with the Elden Ring. Well, to be specific, they only mentioned DLCs, but nevertheless, this doesn't exactly count as a DLC. Quite clever. Thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe. See you guys all, and have a wonderful day.